Okay, cool. All right. Here we go. On five, four, three, two. It's that time. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuning in to the Flagrant 2 with, hey, yours truly. I'm not going to say the full intro. It's Road to 500. You guys know, and ladies know, I'm excited. So I'm going to go straight to it. I will introduce this person as family, but that'll be too easy. IU grad, which biology, which we got to talk about that. I didn't add that to the question.
Oh, you're fine.
World, Miss Indiana, USA, 2021. My family, A'Niyah, Miss A'Niyah Birdsong. Welcome to the Flagrant 2.
Thanks for having me, Derrick. How are you?
Good, good. Like I said, enjoying this day for the most part. Looking forward to these football games later on. I know we're not going to talk sports. I promise. That's for Why Not Sports, the other platform. But we're still going to give you guys some dope content. But I'm good. But how about yourself? I know you've been busy. From those who heard the first part of the show where it was like, wow, Murph, you got Miss Indiana USA. How are you doing that? So, but anyway, how have you been? How have you been able to soak all this success in?
Oh my goodness. So life has been a whirlwind for me. So you mentioned your other platform talking about sports and football. You do not want me to talk about football or sports. Only thing I know is about the yard lines, right? And so you got what, 10 in between, and you're just trying to progress. All I know about progression. We can talk about motivation and determination on a different tip. But yeah. But yes, no sports in me. But as far as just recent success and like with this idea of this crown sitting on my head, it's been a whirlwind for me. So I have been dedicated to pageantry and setting my eyes on Miss Indiana USA since 2017. And so it's
Wow.
really, yeah, it's been a grind. And so it's really kind of surreal still a little for me. I've had the title for about 2 months now. And so you've known me since I was, in Pampers growing up. And so here I am. And it's just like, wow, it's a life-changing event. So excited about the opportunities and what's to come in the future, but excited to be here.
I appreciate you. So, world, I gotta admit this too. So, a couple of years ago, when we was at Marie's house for the
Hmm.
celebration, I was like, "Hey, cuz, it's been a while." So, anyway, it was a nice birthday gathering, sometime in August, a few years ago. But I was able to kick it with Naya and just let her know before. Obviously, it became official how proud of her, or in this case, I'm proud of you, how I was and am, and here we are now, where it's official and running, like you said, just running to that ladder of success and Miss USA, which is in a few months from now. But we'll talk about that shortly. But
Yeah.
growing up, how did wait before that? Growing up, did you know you wanted to be in beauty competitions?
Not necessarily. So I always was the dramatic one in my family. I was the second born with, amongst my cousins and all that fun stuff. So I was always kind of the one like front and center on stage, right? And I was super like excited in that room. But no, pageantry and like beauty pageants were not in my lens. And I think just based off of environment too, growing up in Anderson, didn't know any Miss Indiana USAs or Miss Indianas for that matter. Didn't even know what pageantry actually meant until I got to college. And so it just kind of really puts in perspective, just where you grow up and what you're exposed to, so that I didn't have really exposure to pageantry at all. But so happy that I found it because I would not be here right now. So yeah.
Nice. Now, I know you're family, but I still took time to do the proper research
Hmm.
before you were on, and your friends had some impact in pushing you to maybe your first ever, I guess, competition or signing up for any type of beauty pageant. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that is correct. So when I did Miss IU in 2017, my friends, we were at Texas Roadhouse. I remember like it was yesterday. We were at Texas Roadhouse, and the rolls at Texas Roadhouse. Whoo! Bless
Yes.
whoever made that butter in the bread. Oh my goodness, amazing. But we were at Texas Roadhouse right before, the semester started to get heavy for us in January. And my friend, she was the president or the vice president of Miss IU. And it's a student led organization. But if you win Miss IU, you get to go to Miss Indiana. Win Miss Indiana, the rest is history. And so that was my first pageant ever. And I remember it was in a different organization, the Miss America organization. And I thought to myself, like, wow, like becoming Miss IU, being a part of my college, history, that was something that was big and it was an impact. But more importantly, I thought, why not try it? Don't live life with regrets. I have zero pageant experience at that time. But hey, I got God given talents. And if you got confidence, let's put it on display. So that was my initial thought process. And my friends, they were like nudging me, like, "Hey, go after it! Like you can do it." And so I'm so excited to have those group of individuals around me, and they're still in my circle today. But it's important to have good tribes because they can be a blessing or a curse, and it was definitely a blessing for me.
Absolutely. And I have that one list. I'm like, wait a minute, Murph. So if she got nudged to do this while she was in IU, what did she go to school for?
Definitely. So I went to school for biology. I graduated with a biology degree, and I knew I wanted to get involved in the healthcare industry to some capacity. And so when I was going after about my senior year, I thought about, okay, so if you're not going medical school route, what's your other routes, right? And so I started doing my research and wanted to get into the pharmaceutical industry, and I'm got into pharmaceutical sales, and I'm currently a senior marketer at my company right now. So that's just kind of the background of me. So I had a very busy schedule in college. And so when I got to my senior year, I was like, man, Miss IU sounds amazing. Doesn't make sense right now. Not necessarily, but I didn't want to be all in the books. I wanted to be well rounded and wanted to try something that was new to me. And so, yeah.
Now, again, they'll listen like, that's dope, Murph, but she's a senior marketer for a company. She working too? Like, yes.
Yes. Yes. Yep. So doing both. And so it's definitely done. It's happened before. So there are no many Miss Indianas that have other ventures outside of pageantry. I think it's important too because you get to, again, bring your life experiences into, the current title that you have right now. But then also, too, you get back into a different aspect to your community. You can speak to her a lot more things. So, but yes, I am busy 24/8, not 24/7, 24/8. So
I
super
get
busy. But yeah, so 9 to 5 working. And then when I'm not working, I'm Miss Indiana USA and vice
it.
versa.
See, world, now you see why I'm excited that I have Miss Indiana. Come on, 2021 on a Flagrant 2.
Mhm.
Represent. Trust me. And she was just working out earlier, putting in that
Sure
work.
was.
How important is fitness when it comes
Yes.
to not only your development, but
Mhm.
like you said, the message of what you're about.
Yeah. So fitness for me is an outlet for the most part. When I got on my fitness journey and just really dedicated this year in particular, when I was getting prepared for the pageant, I told myself I need a trainer. I need to push myself to the max. And it was really a vendetta out for myself. I was like, hey, listen, you want the results, you want the healthy lifestyle, you want that balance, you got to pay it off in the gym. And if you're not doing it there, then how is that going to translate to all the other things and motivation and determination that you have and you set for yourself? So it's more of like, practice what you preach. And so fitness is kind of that venture for me. So definitely healthy lifestyle is important. But hey, if you got goals, stay dedicated and push them out. So.
There it is. That's dope. Now, I'm sure, well, other people, and you kind of said that you wasn't sure about, pageantry or beauty competitions. But while you were in it or now in it, what was that moment or that it to where you was like, I can be successful. I can actually be crowned a winner, whether it was like you said, Miss IU, Miss Anderson, Miss Indiana, USA.
Yeah. I think when I did my first pageant, I realized that oftentimes you think that, okay, if I see a certain level of requirements, I have to check all the boxes. And when I did my first pageant, I ended up winning, not having any background, any experience,
Wow.
just being up there and being myself through and through, and just, hey, saying to the judges, if you accept me for who I am and you believe in my platform and what I bring to the table, that was enough success for me. And to see them validate that was amazing. But that's just really what I kind of built. I keep building on every day. It's just being the best version of myself. But being in pageantry, you find that you're around women that are so strong, confident, leaders in their own way. And you just, it's like that iron sharpens iron mentality, right? And so you just feel super empowered to kind of keep on participating in pageantry, but also exposing the community to it, right? And just sharing your experiences, your backgrounds, and being able to communicate, honestly to any and everyone about your passion. So, but yeah, that's what keeps me going, and that's the bit of success. So,
World, aren't you? I don't think y'all understand it. Like, this is huge, huge. She came in saying, I didn't have no one to, look up to, per se, or somebody that I knew would help me step by step. It was just a like grind, and just
mhm,
elevating and just putting herself in position due to, faith and hard work.
yeah.
But for me, the question I have for you is, what keeps you so humble though? And balancing, like you said, your career outside of pageantry, like how?
I know. I ask myself how every day. But I think, God never puts, things on your plates that you can't handle. And I knew when, thinking about balancing my job and then the pageant, I said, hey, God, if it's your will, let it be done. And I literally said that to myself in crowning moment on stage in my hometown, which is still mind boggling to think about. But when I think of, the dedication, the perseverance that you have to keep consistent with, that's the number one theme and principle. But more importantly, humble is my middle name. Like I had mentioned, I have been favored by God in so many different aspects of my life. And I know in a matter of moments, things can turn upside down. So I just keep that in the back of my heart too, because at the end of the day, accolades and titles are one thing, but it's all about moral character. Internally, that's the most beautiful part of people. And so I always find myself being kind and humble because, hey, like, again, things can turn upside down. And I never want to be that person that's just one on their high horse, but also two, I always like to be treated how I love to be treated. So I keep that most importantly in the forefront.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got my get again. My list was like, Murph, you always had this cousin that was doing good things. Hey, I ain't mean, okay? Man, all in my Big East wax. Chill out. That's
Exactly.
what she's on. See, she got the official crown. I got the video, but maybe I'll let it out later. But in the meantime, again, I'm super proud of her.
Thank you.
One of the things that I didn't know about, I mean, it's a few other things, but in this particular case, when it
Mhm.
comes to like Miss Indiana USA, they also have different awards.
Yes.
I was like, oh, so you also were the Contestants Choice Award recipient.
Hmm.
I didn't even know it was extra awards that was even involved. So please
Yes.
help people like me out. Like, what other awards do they have, and how are they chosen?
Yeah. So Contestant's Choice was new this year, but usually yep. So Contestant Choice was newer this year, but pretty much the criteria was every Miss Contestant voted for the best woman that they feel would best represent Indiana at Miss USA. So if they were the judges, who would they pick? And so those awards were given out when all the judges finalized their votes. They already knew who the winner was to the auditors, and they did the awards. And so I was taken back. I was like, "Oh my gosh! You think? Wait, this crown it keeps going crooked. I don't know why, but it won't stay on my head. But you think this crown deserves to be on my head?" And that was nice because again, your peers think highly of you. And I really thought in that moment, I'm like, hey, if I'd have won Miss Indiana USA, I'm a winner. I was a winner when I got on the stage because all the adversity I had to go through. But again, Contestant's Choice was one of the awards that I won. But there's People's Choice, Voters' Choice, there's non-finalist interview. It really depends on the state who kind of gives out those different levels of awards, but usually that's kind of the consistent. And there's congeniality as well. So who's like, the best friend of the group, right? Who made you feel welcome and all that fun stuff. So a lot of good awards that are displayed outside of the title
Nice.
too.
Nice. See, I told you I did my homework.
I'm impressed. That's really good. Not everybody knows about those awards.
I'm not award winning just because, and the success behind the scenes.
You do
just
all your research. Okay. Put some respect on your name. Okay.
Come on. I still got to show you the same love and respect that I would do someone I did, quote unquote, know. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I appreciate you. I just got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
That way, we can continue our day. Here we are. We're the day of the pageant, Miss Indiana USA 2021. It's the last 5. What's going through your head?
Gosh, the last 5. So at that moment in time, top 5, I had competed in interview.
Yeah.
I did prelims. So I did, 2 phases of competition in prelims, evening gown and swimsuit. Made top 15. Competed in swim again. This is all on the same day, except for interview was a different day. Competed in swimsuit and competing in evening gown, and then top 5's announced. So by top 5, I was on cloud 9. I said, hey, you delivered. Okay, honey, you did everything you wanted to do when it comes to displaying on stage, not being nervous, being confident in all your preparation, and just being thankful that you were on this stage showing other girls who look like you and who don't, that you are capable of putting, your mind to anything and being able to conquer that and overcome that. So at that moment in time, that's what's just swirling through my head. So top 5 gets announced. And now I'm thinking, okay, that's all great, but now you got to answer an on-stage question. I'm like, oh.
Everybody watching.
I know, right? It's like a pin drop. So it went from my friend had a bullhorn, and I don't know how she got this bullhorn in the pageant, but every time I came on, it's dying inside. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. But this is actually helping my momentum. Thank you, girl. But it was quiet, right? So top 5 gets announced, and you're going straight into on-stage question. And I'm thinking, okay, just talk and enunciate your words and get your message across, because it's kind of a stressful situation because you have no idea what they're going to ask you. So you answer your on-stage question, and then you answer, this is a contestant's on-stage question. Okay. So you put your question in from all the contestants and you pull one out. Answer it. Everything was fine. I said, okay, you answered the question. Great, move on. Then there are going to be another question from the judges. I said, oh gosh, they can ask you anything under the sun. I'm like, please let me know what they're going to ask me. So they asked me about like a motto called strong is the new pretty. What are the characteristics I associate with that motto? All that fun stuff. So I just told myself, okay, talk about your platform, right? STEM, or you can talk about dare to disrupt, what that means to you. How does that fit into strong is the new pretty? How can you be able to eloquently speak that? Came up with a great couple of sentences, and I said, okay, be quiet, because you can just go on and talk for days like I'm doing right now, but this is just to build momentum. So cut it off. And then so after I get done with both my questions, we have a final look. They take in 15 more seconds before they make their final casting vote of who's Miss Indiana, and they rank them for top, 4, and then the winner. Okay. So I told myself, I was looking at my family and my audience in that 15 minutes. It felt like a lifetime. And I was like, you did that. Like, you made everybody proud. You made yourself proud. And hey, if you don't get the crown, you're still a winner. And then once that happened, came back to my spot in top 5, and they start naming off each individual, right? So you got 4th runner-up, 3rd runner-up. I'm still seeing.
Uh-oh.
I said, oh, snap. I said, okay, this is looking good. Either way, blessed. 2nd runner-up. I paused on 2nd runner-up because I competed in Miss Indiana USA the year prior. Well, okay. 2019. The year prior, because there wasn't a pageant in 2020 because of COVID. I got 2nd runner-up. And so when they had announced 2nd runner-up and it wasn't me, I said, oh, snap. Okay, I surpassed my last goal.
Yes.
So I'm looking across to my good friend, Samantha Toney, we're the last two standing. And I looked at her, I said, hey girl, what we done did. Like, we are top two right now. I was so happy and nervous at the same time. I said, oh wow, like this could be a thing. Like this could really happen. So we get to the front, and it's so funny. If you can show the play-by-play of this video, just to kind of pair what I'm saying. We get to the front of the stage, and we're holding hands. And I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, do not pass out, because you are so excited, and this is amazing, because you did not expect to get this far, even though you want to win. Mm-hmm. So standing there, and he said, the next Miss Indiana USA 2021 is... Again, I said, God, if it's your will, let it be done. Closed my eyes, held my breath. And that's all he had to say. And I literally broke down. I said, oh my gosh, freaking out. And I looked to the crowd, to my entire family. They're just sitting there, hands on their heads. They're like, oh my gosh, this girl just won. And I'm like, I sure did. We're going to USA. Let's buckle in and get ready for the ride. And here we are, Murph. On your podcast. That was a long response to top 5. I didn't know if you want me to take it that far, but I took it there.
We got listeners right now that's like, Murph, thank you for having A'Niyah on, because this is dope. She's dope. Now I'm going to follow her. I'm going to just be excited for this journey. And speaking of family, just want to say in particular, love the family as well. But in particular, Cousin Sean, love you, cuz. Talk to you soon. I give him a shout out. He gonna get on me. Hey, cuz, you didn't give me no love. Cuz I want some love. And also too, we're here. I know you've had news reporters and other outlets looking to have your time, so I don't take that lightly either. So again, thank you. I appreciate that. For those listeners out there, first time listeners, thank you for tuning in. The avid listeners, what's up? Check out my website, www.dmurphspeaks.com. You can see the great individuals, men and women of influence that I've been able to collaborate with and and work on the podcast. So, but Miss A'Niyah Birdsong adds to that collection. So again, it's a beautiful thing. Last question I have.
Yeah.
Like you said, now you gave yourself that ticket to Miss USA.
Mm-hmm.
What will they be looking for that you have to, I won't say prepare, but to brush up on certain things to set yourself apart?
Yeah. So with Miss USA, they're looking for an individual that's Miss Universe ready, right? And so Miss Universe happens in less than a month. And so while they're looking for the title of Miss USA, they need someone for Miss Universe as well. So they need to make sure that the woman that is crowned is ready to hit the ground running and prepare for Universe. But she has to have amazing qualities about herself, right? So she has to be confidently beautiful, but more importantly, have a platform that is going to resonate and influence others in all communities, all parts of our state and our country is super important. Also, to be a great representation of the organization, right? And so she has to be morally, and when you think about character, has to be on par. So they're looking for, that trendsetter, that trailblazer, and really that determined woman to make sure that they carry Miss USA proud and honestly to Miss Universe to capture that crown.
Hey, world. If you can see my face again, I'm super proud of cuz, like she said, been knowing her. Yeah. And to see where she's at now. And I got that one listener, cuz, like, Murph, who else you know that we haven't heard of that you can inspire us? You've been holding out. Not really. It's just we both busy. My goodness. And that keeps you tuned in and subscribed too to see who I have next. Because thank you. Love you.
Love
Definitely
you too. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And if there's an email or your social media, if people just want to at least follow you or just follow this journey with you, and even before, maybe you might be inspiring some, people or women in this case that didn't think they can do it, so now they can.
Definitely. Well, all is welcome. So feel free to follow me on all social media platforms to get to know me more, the experience. It's going to be an awesome journey that I have this title for this year. But more importantly, I'm excited about the impact I'll make in the community when it calls for women leadership, getting young girls involved in STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I'm all for it. So definitely. Thank you for having me, Derrick, and we will have to reconvene right before USA so we can talk
Now,
more.
hey, where is it at? Let me book. Oh, my bad.
USA,
Book a flight.
it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wait a minute. See, Dallas is about 7, 8.
It's
Anyway,
pretty close to you.
you see, I'm looking at you, right? As you said, as time get closer, we like you said, we'll make it happen. Now, that one listener though, like Murph, I'm trying to follow her. Like, where do I follow her?
Okay, yeah. So Miss Indiana USA, so Miss INUSA is the Instagram handle, and you can also follow me on Facebook. So it's also Miss Indiana USA or my personal account, A'Niyah Birdsong, and my personal Insta is _Naya Bird. I think about that.
There it is. That person want to give me a virtual hug. Thank you, Murph, because I've been waiting. Like, I'm trying to, like, man, give her support. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But anyway, thank you. I'm tuned in. I got you.
Love it.
So, world, y'all heard my cousin. You heard my family. This is great. Like she said, we're gonna connect in the next few months.
For sure.
I appreciate the invitation. Like I said, let me right around the holidays. What's wrong, Murph? I got something. I gotta just don't want to get nobody else involved. Nah, anyway, I'm just playing with her, but I'm coming. I'm be there. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @HDMurph. You can follow the Instagram page at Flagrant2pod _. Again, the real Flagrant2. Wherever you listen to podcasts, wherever you listen to your music, you can find this platform. The world, it's been another dope episode. Roll to 500, by the way. I had to come back bringing better people that you didn't expect. I knew or I had in the chamber. Thank you. But world, we out. We love y'all. And y'all already know how we close the show. Don't lose yourself with life problems. Stay strong and fight the good fight.